Hello everyone, happy Friday. I'm so psyched to be here live with you. It is crazy windy out here today, so I'm hoping that I don't lose electricity and we can do our little chat here this morning. We got about maybe 1.5 feet of snow yesterday, and it's blowing around out there. It's quite crazy. But I'm super psyched to be here with you all live today. And for those of you that are new to the group, I like to go live on Fridays. I usually talk about a topic, maybe teach to it. And if you didn't see, for today's talk, I actually created a worksheet. So it's in the description of this video, so you can just download it and fill it out with me or by yourself. Yeah, so I think that'll be fun. If you are watching, let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you're drinking tea this morning. I'm actually drinking water because I got a little sidetracked and my tea wasn't ready, so I'll have some tea later. Yeah, so the other thing I just wanted to touch upon before we dive into the training is I'm loving seeing all of your posts. I know there was a little bit of confusion regarding like what's a promo, what's a content post. So what I mean by 3 to 1 is like share value. So if you look at the posts that I share every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, that's what I would consider like a straight up content post. So there's no link, there's no mention of anything, there's no, I'm not sharing from my business page, I'm not promoting my group, although why would I, because you all are in my group. So that's like a content post. So try to get consistent posting those. Sneak preview, I have a challenge coming up at the end of January to help you do that. And then a promo post, we're gonna stick to free promo posts for now, but a promo post would be like, join my group. This week in my group, we're talking about a post from your business page. I'm trying to think of other freebies, like an opt-in that you have. Those sort of things are like freebies. So try to do 3 to 1-ish. So you're giving more value than you're asking people to like sign up for things or join things. So that's just a little bit of that. Hey Kathy, I'm so glad you're here. Is it freezing where you live? I was just mentioning at the start of the video, it's freezing here. It's crazy windy. We actually have a whole house generator. The people that lived here before us installed it, and we've never really had to use it, knock on wood. And I actually turned it off today because I didn't clean it around it, like the exhaust pipe or anything, so I got a little nervous. No school today. No school here either. I'm not sure here if it's because of the snow or the cold. What is it? What's going on where you live? Is it snowing or is it just like ridiculously freezing? And then, yeah, like the giveaway you posted. I don't think I saw it yet, but good example. And then to finish up that conversation, Saturdays we'll stick with paid promotions. So if you have an offer, if you have something you're selling, feel free to post those on Saturday. You can create your own post. You can post in the thread. Oh, because it's so cold. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, I think, how cold is it there? I think the wind chill here is much, much, much colder than the temp. I think the actual temp is around 10. And I know we have a wind chill advisory. I'm just trying to figure out where to put this so I don't kick it. I'll put it there. So let's dive in. Let's talk about what I was thinking about for this week, which is creating results that feel good. So I was thinking about all the talk about like New Year's resolutions and negative 18 wind chill. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's cold. That's like not go outsideable. So I was thinking about like all this talk about New Year's resolutions and kind of this mentality of like, almost like you're not good enough. Like you have to change something. Like there's something that you need to improve upon before you can feel good, or improve upon before you see the results that you want. And for sure, I think there's definitely room for evolving in life and growing in life and, really transforming and having that feel good in the long term. And I also think there's space for you to really embrace what you've got going on, embrace what is working for you, so you can really show up right now and get results right now. So often I think like New Year's resolutions, it's like you kind of feel like they have to be hard and you kind of feel like they're gonna take a long time. Like I think of the classic New Year's resolution of like losing weight or quitting smoking, right? Like those tend to be things that people think of as like it's gonna be hard and it's gonna be long. So applying that to your business, like does it have to be hard? Does it have to take a long time? Some things might, for sure. But also, I think there's space to really lean in, embrace what is working for you, embrace what you have going on right now, so you can see results right now and not wait for results like next December and then think to myself, oh, I forgot to get results this year, let me set another New Year's resolution. This is a funny story, but we have a family friend that would always say, like, this is going to be my year, this is going to be my year. And it was always like that kind of carrot in front of the horse mentality of like she was always chasing, trying to get it, trying to be her year. And, I remember my parents talking to me about that growing up, and they're like, really like own that in the present, like really embody that now. It doesn't have to be your year next year or your year next month. It can be your year right now. I'm sorry, loud plow. So if you didn't see the worksheet, I just thought we'd dive in and go through that now, whether you're watching live or on the recording. I'm so distracted by the wind, sorry. And so when I think about like embracing what you've got, first it's like seeing what's working for you, right? So the first question on that worksheet is, what are 3 things that are really lighting you up in your life right now? I love to think about like the energy of your life translating to the energy of your business. Because if you're feeling good and you're feeling totally lit up in your body, totally like aligned and resonant in your body, that's gonna help you show up so much stronger in your business. So I've been really open about how I'm cross-country skiing lately, and tomorrow, a couple weeks ago, we went to a pool, and tomorrow we're actually gonna join the pool. Being active is super important to me and something that I couldn't really do in the way I wanted to for a really long time because of a variety of reasons. So that's something that's feeling really good to me right now. So I think you're still on here, Kathy. So if you want to share, what's like one thing that you're like loving in your life? It could be like a book you're reading, a show you're watching, like something you love to cook, just like a cozy nook you love to sit in. I feel like these things can be small and yet still really meaningful and impactful. So 3 things, if you can think of them. I think for me right now, it would definitely be cross-country skiing. Probably when you talk to me tomorrow, it'll be swimming. I also just love my afternoon cup of tea, reading at night and writing. I love that. What a fulfilling practice too, like to set you up to go to bed in a really good headspace and then wake up the next day feeling great. I think another one for me would be stretching. I'm thinking all the body stuff right now. I love just in the winter, I have these, usually I have them up here, but I don't have them now. I have these like balls that I'll kind of roll and massage my feet on. I think that's another one for me. And then I started to say, just having my afternoon cup of tea. It's so warm this time of year. Connie, I'm totally loving the personal development work I'm doing, the connections I've been making. I love that, Connie. And what a great way of thinking outside the box. So like that's in your life and it's also kind of in your business, developing relationships. So that's so cool. I love that. So 3 things that are really lighting you up in your life. Now switching that over, thinking of 3 things that are really lighting you up in your business. So often it's so easy to get caught up in what's not going right in your business. Like, I want more clients, I want more, structure. I don't know if people say that, do they? Sometimes I do. I want my posts already written, or whatever your thing is, like whatever you're kind of stuck on, switch out of that for a second. Like, what are 3 things that are going so well? Or maybe they're going super well, but they feel good. Like for me, I think something that I talk about a little bit in here for sure, but I don't super harp on, is my podcast. I love my podcast. I really don't do my podcast for any monetary reason. I just do it because I like talking. I love sharing. I love interviewing the guests. I love my solo episodes. You were thinking of the negative things. I feel like that's just the way the human mind works. And I feel like there's also a space there to like not get down on yourself for thinking that way. Because that's just how we are, right? Like, we're kind of evolved to think about like what's not going right. But so just taking a moment, like, and if you're on here live, share with me what's one thing that's really lighting you up in your business. I just mentioned my podcast. Something else, actually this group is really lighting me up in my business. I'm super excited. I love seeing your posts. I love all the new faces in here. And then I think the third thing for me would be, this is gonna sound a little nerdy, but I love my content structure. So that's something that's I really leaned into at the end of 2017, and now I'm feeling really confident with the way I'm organizing my structure and sharing organizing my content rather, and sharing my content, and it feels like awesome. It feels really cool. So if you want to let me know what's one thing in your business that's really feeling good to you. It can be something small. It can be like that I work for the morning and then I take a break for lunch, right? Because that's another thing I love. It could be people you connect with on Facebook. Oh, Connie, your comments cut off, but I saw the beginning of it. The connections you're making business-wise too. I love that. Yeah, so it sounds like connections is a really big value for you. So maybe put like a star next to that when you're thinking about how you want to evolve forward in your business. Like, building connections, building relationships. It sounds like it's one of your top values. Okay, so before we move into the bottom part, just take a breath. I love to get really grounded in my body before I do the next exercise. And yes, this is something I do on a fairly regular basis. Hey Davina, I'm so glad you're here. Don't worry about it. I'll post the replay for the first part. But we're just about to dive into the good part. So, and I know you love doing stuff like this, Davina. So just take a breath, let yourself just kind of like feel like you're actually in your body rather than in your head. So what I mean by that is maybe if you want to put like your hand on your heart or something, to just feel more in your own physical self. And for those of you that don't know, I used to teach yoga, so that's a huge, well, I guess I still teach it, but just not as much. Huge part of my business, or just kind of how I operate. So the next part of the worksheet, the next and last part of the worksheet starts off with saying the truth is, and then ... And this is a really good statement. Like when you're stuck writing content, or when you don't know what to say, or when you want to go deeper with what you're writing, my favorite thing to do is just be like, you know what, the truth is, and then just write, like just let it out and see what comes out, and then you can reorganize it and actually make it readable. But I have 2 questions for you at the bottom, so you can take these kind of positive vibrations of the top of the worksheet that we talked about and then really see them through in your business. So the first question is, I want to take action on. And this could be in life. Obviously we're entrepreneurs, so it could be in business too. But when you like really get in your body, you can keep your hand on your heart and you just go, the truth is, I want to take action on. Like, what's the first thing that comes up for you rather? You can just jot it down. You can see what comes up in your body, in your mind. I'd love if you wanted to share it below. this is a really good way to take aligned, inspired action. So we've talked a lot about in this group, like, you know, how do we know what's right for me to do? How do I know what I should actually do rather than like, what are all the things that people tell us to, or the things that worked for other people? This is a way to really tap into like, how do I move forward? How do, you know, what's my next step forward? Not necessarily like the person over there that did that system. So if something's coming up for you regarding you want to take action on, the truth is I want to take action on. Let's see, I was trying to feel into what I'm feeling today. I did a lot of work this morning, so I feel pretty action checked off. But I think what I want to take action on is sneak peek. I have a new offer coming out next week, and I think I'm super ready to put that out there. So I think that's what I'm feeling to take action on. What about you? Let me know. If you're not feeling like sharing, that's totally fine. The next one is, the truth is, so same phrase, you can stay in your body through it. The truth is, one step I'm going to take today is. So I think this is a super important question because so often, especially at the start of the year, we have these huge ideas, right? These huge goals, these huge things. I want to film my practice. I want to make 6 figures. I want to, you know, reach 1,000 people in my Facebook group, whatever. You're in listen only mode. I love that, Kathy. Thanks for claiming that. That's totally fine. Oh, Davina, you want to go live? Sweet. You can go live in this group if you'd like. But you do awesome lives. I caught you on one of yours in your Facebook group. I love that action step. So when you're thinking about like your big things for 2018, or just that other step that you just wrote about, like what you want to take action on, what's one step you can actually do today? And I think the caveat here, like the key here is, it might be something not totally that you thought of. So like a couple weeks ago in December, I was feeling kind of like stagnant in my energy, right? And I felt like it was showing up in my business a little bit, just in the way of my like internal inspiration. And I leaned into it and I asked myself this question, like, what's one thing I can do to shift out of this? And it was to move more. And that's what really was the catalyst behind me trying the pool and getting boots for the cross-country skis I already had. So if you're asking yourself, like, what's one step I can take today? And that answer is like unplug, or the answer is like for Connie, maybe it's to connect with someone, or that answer is like a little different than you thought. That's like totally fine. Listen to that. That's your intuition popping up. You're scared of going live. Yes, I love that. So Connie, I'm like almost glad you just said that, because that's something I've been thinking about talking about in our group. Because going live, I think, is an acquired practice, so don't feel bad about that. And I think it gets a lot easier as you go. So we'll talk more about that. If you have any questions for me, drop them here. Davina, self-care time, unplugging. Yeah, so I was totally thinking the unplugging thing when I mentioned that. We were talking about like unplugging in terms of you writing content, and that's huge. That's so huge. So I'm gonna let you in on a little secret on how I write my content, and it's kind of weird, but that's all right. So I'm a big energy person, right? Like I'm talking about how I'm shifting my energy by moving, and how I'm getting, well, I didn't talk about how I get grounded before I write content, but I do. So my thing on writing content is I always do something to get in my body. And this is actually the same way I like to go live too, Connie. So I like to get super grounded. So before this, I was stretching. Before I wrote my content this morning, I actually took a walk outside, even though it's freezing. So I like to get like really in my body. And then when I'm going to write content, I feel kind of weird saying this, but I like to go in the group and kind of feel the energy out. and write from that place. Now, this used to bother me and I wasn't able to do that because the notifications would unground me and kind of sidetracked me. But I've developed the ability to just get so grounded in my body that I don't notice the notifications anymore. So when I'm writing the content, I like to be pretty in tune with who I'm writing to. So when I plan the posts out, yeah, I'm planning them in the future, like for next week. And I'm super tapped into like who I'm talking to. So that's a little sneak peek. Sometimes when I write the content in Google Docs, I feel like disconnected from you all, from the people. So I'd love to hear how you write your content. If you kind of feel the energy from people. Now, I used to get a little too into this where I would like want to go in each group and feel out each group, and that really got me all over the place. I kind of wouldn't recommend doing that. But if you want to write for your people, if you have maybe a group you're really focusing on getting active in, I hope it's mine, you can maybe go in that and just write from the heart. My favorite way to get deeper in my content and get more like depth to what I'm writing is the truth is statement. Davina, I like your comment, LOL. I hope it's in regards to me feeling the energy of the group while I'm writing the content. So anywho, when you're thinking back on really creating results right now that feel good to you, I really invite you to lean into like what's already feeling good. You know, what's feeling good for you right now in your life, what's feeling good for you right now in your business, embracing that, and then shifting that into action, right? So like the truth is, you know, what do I want to move forward and do? And what's one small step I can take today? I think where most people get caught up is they think that small step isn't big enough, but I always like to say small steps lead to big progress. I really believe in just taking consistent small steps, and eventually you will have that filled program. You will have that bigger group. You will have those clients, right? So if you're ready to claim your small step, let me know. My small step today is totally unrelated to business, and it's to return the swimsuit that I got that was too small. But it's like totally taking up my mental energy because I've been dragging my feet on it. So I'm going to do that right after this. You all can hold me accountable. Yeah, if you all have any questions, let me know. That was pretty much it for what I have. You can ask me questions on this or really anything. I don't mind sharing. If I didn't already mention it, I think I did. I've been super psyched seeing you all in the group posting, and I'm loving our group. It grew quite a bit in the last couple weeks. If you know anyone that you think would love the group, please let them know about it. I would love that. I see a slightly different direction of message. My small step. Yeah, I love that. And that's honestly what I was going for more of. For people regarding like that small step being in your business. I love that. So Davina, I plan my content on Fridays. Fridays for me are content days. I did it this morning because I'm a morning person. And I'm earlier than you are in terms of time zones, I believe. But yeah, I love that. I love that for you just tuning in, planning your content. And I'd really encourage you, if you're feeling the unplugged thing, you might even want to write your content on a piece of paper. That's a strategy I've used before when I'm feeling a bit like overwhelmed online, or like I'm absorbing other people's messages or things from online. I've just handwritten them. I'm actually like a huge handwriter, so I have like the worksheet handwritten here that I just did with you guys. Cool. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I'm gonna go take my action step. Stay tuned in the group. Next week we're gonna be talking about showing up. I'm super psyched. That's one of my big things from 2017, so I'm excited to share with you kind of my tips and tricks regarding that. Ooh, I love that. On your phone, I'm guessing? That's something that I do. I don't do the transcribes thing, though. I'd love to hear how you do that. Or do you do it like into the text? I have done that before. You hold like the recording button down, or I think it's the recording, the mic button. Talking your content is awesome. That's part of the reason I started the podcast, because I knew I was better at talking than like writing. I would get stuck in my head. And so I started the podcast, and then that's really helped me with my content writing. So you might find you like to do the audio now, and then in a couple months you're able to write from like kind of a deeper place. Yeah. And then next week on the podcast, I'm back with the first interview of 2017. So I think that'll be awesome too. We're talking all about self-acceptance and just really embracing yourself so you can show up in business really in a way that feels good and stays true to you. That's me for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining live, ladies. It was so lovely to talk to you all. Happy 2018. I'm super excited to see you in the group. Keep sharing your content. I love seeing your posts. And tomorrow's paid promotion day. So if you have an offer that you've already created, I'd love to see it. Stay tuned next week for my new offer. I'm super psyched for it. Super excited to work with a few of you this year. I'm going to post and pin this replay. So if you're just tuning in now and you're like, oh geez, I missed you, just look at the pinned post on the top of the group. And if you have questions, just write the comments below. If you want to make sure I definitely see it, you might want to tag me. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend.